Nelson Mandela, from prisoner to president. After 27 years behind bars, the man who was once called a terrorist walked free. The world watched as Nelson Mandela raised his fist, not in revenge, but in triumph. How did a prisoner become the first black president of South Africa and the moral compass of a continent? This is the final chapter of Mandela's extraordinary journey. On February 11, 1990, after 27 years in captivity, Nelson Mandela walked out of Victor Verster Prison. The gates opened, and a free man stepped into a world on the brink of transformation. Crowds cheered. Cameras flashed. The world had waited decades for this moment. Mandela did not raise his fist in anger. He raised it in calm, quiet triumph, a symbol of resilience, hope, and reconciliation. From New York to London, Cape Town to Nairobi, news outlets broadcasted the same message. The man who defied an empire was free. Inside South Africa, people of all races felt the tension of history finally tipping toward change. Mandela's release was not just personal. It was national. It was continental. It was symbolic, the beginning of a new era. After his release, Nelson Mandela faced a country on the edge of chaos. Violence between black and white communities surged. Fear gripped the nation. The apartheid government knew negotiations were urgent. Mandela stepped forward not with anger, but with strategy. He met F.W. de Klerk, the last apartheid president, for tense, secret talks. They debated endlessly: the dismantling of apartheid, the future of voting rights, the creation of a multiracial democracy. Mandela insisted on one thing above all: reconciliation. Revenge is not our way, he told leaders. We must build a nation together. His ability to forgive and to demand justice without hatred became his greatest weapon. By 1993, Mandela and de Klerk were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their work toward ending apartheid. South Africa was on the path to its first fully democratic election, and Mandela was ready to lead. The historic 1994 election and presidency. In April 1994, South Africa held its first fully democratic election. For the first time, black citizens could vote freely. Millions lined up, hopeful, anxious, and determined. The results were historic. Nelson Mandela won overwhelmingly, becoming the first black president of South Africa. Mandela took office on May 10, 1994, stepping into a nation scarred by decades of segregation and violence. He immediately focused on reconciliation, forming a multiracial cabinet initiating the Truth and Reconciliation Commission promoting peace between former adversaries. Mandela's presence inspired not only South Africa but the world. His calm authority and unwavering moral compass became a symbol of hope for oppressed people everywhere. He did not rule with vengeance. He ruled with dignity, humility, and a vision for a united nation. Mandela as a leader of Africa and global icon. Mandela's influence stretched far beyond South Africa. He became a moral compass for the continent, mediating conflicts in countries like Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda. Global leaders sought his guidance, from Washington to London and capitals across Africa. Despite immense fame, Mandela remained grounded, advocating peace and democracy, promoting education and equality, inspiring youth and future leaders. He became a living symbol of resilience, the man who survived 27 years of imprisonment and emerged to heal a nation. Mandela's leadership reminded the world that true power lies in forgiveness, vision, and unwavering courage. Even outside office, he continued shaping Africa's destiny and mentoring leaders, solidifying his status as a global icon of freedom and justice. Retirement, legacy, and death. After serving one term, Nelson Mandela retired in 1999, stepping down peacefully, a rare act in global politics. He dedicated his later years to philanthropy through the Nelson Mandela Foundation, advancing education and healthcare in Africa, promoting human rights worldwide. Mandela became a symbol of unity, forgiveness, and moral leadership. On December 5, 2013, the world mourned his passing. Millions gathered in South Africa and across the globe to honor the man who had turned imprisonment into power, replaced hatred with reconciliation, transformed a nation, inspired generations. Nelson Mandela is remembered not just as South Africa's first Black president, but as a leader of Africa and a beacon of hope for humanity.